Let's see. Sia, good morning. Hi, Summer Star. Hi, Kat. Hi, Dina. Hi, Shine. Hi, Debbie. Amy, hi. Amber, good morning. Hello. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm excited to see some familiar names and some new names. Alexa, can you stop the music? Perfect. Okay. This feels better so I can like actually see you guys. Okay, how is everyone doing? Okay, so in the Northern Hemisphere, it is officially fall, so I decided to wear brown. Actually, I should fix this lighting though. There we go. I decided to wear brown to call in like the fall weather, because I'm thoroughly so excited because fall is my birthday season, everything. So I'm literally so happy. I'm so happy. Yes, it feels so good. Nia, hello. Aisha, hello. Hi, hi, hi. I'm thoroughly so happy to be here with you all. We're going to talk about, let me pull up my notes here. We're going to talk about um, what fall means spiritually. And then let me know what hemisphere you're in. Like, is it fall for you or is it spring? Because I know for Rahana, it's springtime for her. Here we go. There we go. Okay, making sure. I'm very excited. So I figured we do that, and then we're going to do a card reading, and then, just chit-chat and stuff. I have my tea with me. So I am officially at the end of my luteal cycle towards, getting my period, and my mood is really intense. So I'm doing fenugreek, red clover, red raspberry, and spearmint. Yeah, to help with the moods because the moods are moody. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't have any curtains in my house, despite my sister begging me to get some. So yeah, the lighting just looks really nice sometimes. I'm just like, I just like natural lighting. Like, should I have curtains? Probably, but like, I don't really want to. Yes. Oh my goodness, you're a Scorpio, Aisha. Yes, I'm October 28th. Yes, it's fall. Okay, it's fall for you too, Dina. Yes. Yes. Lotus, I wanted to ask the significance behind the 1010. I keep seeing it. Yeah, I actually do know what the angel number 1010 is, but I'm gonna just double check because there's different meanings. But I like the one from Joanne. That's who I always go to since I was like a teenager. Like, it's like Joanne Angel Numbers. She has always been accurate for like decades. Um, it indicates that it's a time of personal development, spiritual awakening, and enlightenment. And I could not agree more just thinking about what I've been experiencing over the past couple of days. And we're going to talk about that too. And I just want to see if anybody else is like in the same boat as me, because it has been a really interesting eclipse season. We talked about it earlier and like what that can look and feel like for everybody. But for me personally, like, guys, it has been really wild. It has been a very weird experience. I just feel like I can feel the tug and pull between the old life and the new life. Like, almost in every moment, I feel the difference. It's like you are constantly having, or at least for me, let me speak for myself. It's like I'm constantly choosing in each moment of like, okay, we're going to go back to the old you or we're going to do something new. Or we're going to go back to the old you or we're going to do something new. And it's a very stretching experience because obviously initially you want to go to the new you, like, duh, like, of course I want to go to the new me, like whatever new me is down to do, like I'm down to do, like, let's just do that thing. But at the same time, the old you is so familiar and you're so used to the results that can give you, even if it's not the results that you want, that sometimes you find yourself slipping back into that old you mentality, even though you don't want it, even though you know for a fact that's not what you want to do, right? So it's so crazy and interesting because when you're moving forward and you have that realization, it feels like a tug of war internally with every decision that you make. But that does come as a side effect of eclipse season, right? Eclipse season makes it where, here we go. There we go. Eclipse season makes it where you're gonna have that tug of war, right? It's not gonna last forever. Again, eclipse season is gonna be ending, I think, in like a week or two. I want to say, I think it might actually be ending this week. I'll keep you guys posted on that. But mentally, I have been feeling like I'm in between so many different timelines, and it is exhausting, which is why I started to do the lives later moving forward, because it's really just a necessary thing to do. 1 second. There we go. Perfect. So I want to know how you guys are feeling. Let me know. Hi, Kieran, how are you? Yes, of course, me anytime. Yes, fall in Dallas. Nice, nice, nice. Hi, Rahana. So, Rahana, for you, it's spring equinox, right? Thank you. Hi, Logan. So funny. So adorable. But yes, so I have been experiencing that. So you guys are going to probably see that today. Like, it's just being in two different timelines. Please let me know if what I'm saying makes sense to you, if you're also going through something similar. I mean, if I'm alone in it, I'm alone in it. It's fine. But like, if I'm not, and like you're also going through some things, please let me know, because it has been, it's like every day that I wake up, I'm waking up and I'm just like in a really interesting mood. And I have to intentionally work through the mood. I have to like intentionally work through it. Otherwise, it's with me for the entire day. And it's just that tug of war of like the past life and the new life and the different timelines and like where it is that I'm at. Even for me, like getting certain like visions of like how I'm supposed to be looking in certain places or like in certain experiences, and then when I'm in that experience I don't look the way that I saw in my head, and I'm like, oh wait, was that supposed to be happening now, or is that happening later on? Like, how far ahead was this vision? Just let me know, because that's what I've been dealing with, and I'm actually pulling up my my notes now. Yes, yes, it is. Everything's waking up around me and I'm still in slumber mode. Oh, I love this. So what I decided to do, Rahana, because I know that some of us are in a different hemisphere, I'm going to do it based off the hemisphere that I'm in. So there could be 4 videos. Like there'll be a fall equinox, which is happening right now. There'll be a winter solstice, and then I'll have the spring equinox and the summer solstice. So that way people can just go to the video. Instead of it being dual, because I did dual last year and it didn't really go well. But yeah, spent the morning in practice because I'm reeling. Amber, I held my first community walk in Philadelphia yesterday, and it was a whole thing. I love hosting community in person, of course. It's something that I really enjoy doing. It's for people that are not from Philadelphia but happen to live in Philadelphia for whatever reason it may be, for work, just because they decide to move here, whatever it is. For me, I moved here because of family, and it was just this whole thing. It was this whole chaotic thing of people not not being happy about me creating something for expats and transplants and people that are not from here. And then also realizing that it is a necessary experience and community to have, and then trying to do it for themselves. And for me, I'm never someone that's like, oh, you took my idea, things like that. That never is a thing for me, because I'm a creator. I'll just create more. Like, you can't sustain that idea because it's not your idea. As opposed to people not realizing that sometimes you get inspired by somebody else's work for you to go and create your own thing, or for you to reach out and to be of service for that idea that inspired you. It's not for you to take for yourself and try to make it into something. I really wish that more people understood how energy works, because when you go and you take someone else's idea, and a lot of times I will say that for a lot of people, it's an unconscious thing. You don't even realize that you're doing it. It's just like you were so inspired by it that you're moved to act. and then you start creating something that is exactly what you were inspired by, that's not how inspiration works. It's supposed to get you to look at your own unique skills and talents and then do something with that inspiration based off of your unique skills and talents, not off of someone else's. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people move in that way, because it is one of the reasons why culturally and like creatively, like that creative culture is so stagnant, because people are taking on people's ideas instead of looking at it and being like, ooh, why does this inspire me? Why is this moving me forward? It is a call for me to collaborate. It's a call for me to share their community that they've already put time and effort into. Or am I supposed to create something different? There's never a time where inspiration is telling you to take someone else's idea for yourself. That's never a thing inspiration will do. Now, a disoriented ego, an unhealthy ego, will definitely tell you to do that because it's unhealthy, doesn't know any better. But like, if you consider yourself to be a creative, if you consider yourself to be a leader or whatever community title you want to hold, you should really make sure that what you're inspired by makes sense for you to do, right? So for instance, I joined a walking club earlier on, and I loved it, even though it was lacking a sense of community. It was very just it was nice to be able to walk in a group of women so that I felt safe doing long walks in Philly, right? But the community aspect wasn't there. There weren't any introductions. There was no way for you to make new friends unless you were doing it on your own. And for someone that is a very introverted person, if I'm not teaching, that can be a very difficult thing for me to do. So that's why I was inspired to create a walking club that is specifically for people who are not from here, who do not have like local friends or family to come together and then experience mindfulness along with, moving the body, whether it's walking, whether it's running, whether it's like dancing or going to make candles, creating a community for that. I let the inspiration lead me to what my skill set and gifts are and what I was in need of and create something different. They're not in the same lanes, right? I just want to put that out there because I really feel like that's something that needs to be said as we're moving into a new season. When you are inspired, make sure that that inspiration is guiding you towards your own ability to share who you are and what you're passionate about. Okay? Let me read through the comments. I feel like I've been going through something a little similar. Oh, Killaby, I hate this. Yeah. Um, oh, wow, that's so unfortunate. Here we go. 1 second. Mm-mm-mm. Yep. Here we go. Here we go. Perfect. I used to think I was creative, but no one likes anything that I do, so I quit. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Yeah, that's so unfortunate because you should still keep going. Think about all of the creative people out in the world, like Picasso, for instance. Like, people didn't enjoy his work when he was alive. It wasn't until he was, he had transitioned that people understood the genius. When you are a creative person, 9 times out of 10, what you're creating hasn't really been done before. Again, if you're properly utilizing that intuition, and that inspiration, then yes. If not, then you're unfortunately a copycat, right? But if you're allowing it to create something new, it takes time for people to adjust. I can't tell you how often I've done something years ago and like now it's popular, but I've been talking about it for like a decade. It just kind of comes with the territory, and it really is a practice in soothing your ego so that you're not so upset and outraged of like, well, now people get it, but I've been talking about this for X amount of times. I felt like that with matcha personally. Like, I had been talking about matcha for a decade before it became very popular, especially in the Black community. That's the reason why I wanted to share it, is because it was so beneficial as, for me as a Black creative, because I'm like, oh, this is something from a different culture that is like so soothing to the nervous system that allows me to tap into my creativity. Like, I need to share this. I made my entire podcast off of matcha an entire decade ago, and now it's popular. But beforehand, I was dealing with people being like, oh my god, matcha, why is it that color, or it tastes so earthy, or I don't know, I can't get with it. And I had to deal with all of that and making new recipes and giving recommendations on what cafes to go to, where to source it at home. I did all of those things, and it's in the ether, it's there documented. But would I say that people can correlate that now? Probably not. Does that bother me? No, because I also understand how pioneer energy works. You're going to be doing things ahead of time a lot, and a lot of people are not going to notice. But the people that do need to notice, and that are here to fill you up, they will know and they will tell you. So I have people that pour into me and let me know, like, girl, I feel like you was the first one to do this. And that helps to keep the ego healthy, right? So that doesn't start to like lash out and be like, oh my God, why didn't you know it was me from the beginning? And you know what I mean? So you have to grow through that as a creative. It just comes with the territory, unfortunately. Like it's not the best feeling to have, but I wouldn't stop creating because people don't get it. I'm gonna keep creating whether people get it or not. It's not really my business, you know? Okay, let me catch on. Here, there we go. It definitely makes sense. I feel like the old self is so familiar, but it's truly not working anymore. Oh my God, Nia. Yes. Like literally, that made me want to tear up because yes, it's not working anymore. And I'm not going to say it drives me crazy because like that's not the word that I want to use, but it's infuriating. It's infuriating because it's also like you just got used to your old self and how it navigates and how it works. And then now it's just like, yeah, throw all that away because it's no longer serving you. You're like, what? I just got comfortable with this new skill set, this new version of myself, and now we have to just let it go. Cool. Like, good to know. Good to know, right? Uh, but also not knowing the new you. Like, I don't know this version. Right, Nia. Oh my goodness. I like it, but I'm still connected deeply. It feels to my old self. Yeah. And again, that makes so much sense to honestly witness that, okay, I have this old version of myself and I feel like we're locked in. I feel like I finally get you. I finally get how you want to move, how you want to be. But we also are in a cosmic flow and cosmic alignment with everything around us. So we're going to constantly be shedding. And it's that saying that the only thing that is certain in life outside of death is change. Like it's going to always change. And I feel like we're going to always kind of be in that turmoil. And you're always kind of experiencing grief in that sense too, because like for me, I'm grieving my old self, like these habits and skill sets that I really have enjoyed that are just not going to take me to where I need to go next. Is really sad. Like it's a grieving moment, you know, but it's a part of starting over. It's a part of moving forward, right? Okay, I'm going up to Cat. Yes, totally understand. Have been really focusing on shifting my energy and not falling back into old ways. Cat, same. And sometimes honestly, I fall back into old ways, and I'm just like, it is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. I'll do better tomorrow, and that's fine too. The old me thinks the world is against me. The new me knows I'm the only one who can really be against myself. Amber, yes, 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 yes. Even if there are people outside of you that are like, I am legitimately against you, you are the person that has that type of influence. We have the choice to believe in those people and to think that they have some real authority over our life, right? Or we can just allow them to be who they are, live their own journey, and detach, right? We talked about the law of detachment on Wednesday last week during the midweek tap in. So if you want to learn more about that law, please check out that live. It's on YouTube now. But we talked about how you need to have healthy detachment because sometimes we will hook ourselves into something and stay there, and then we can't tell if that's us or if that is the collective. And sometimes there's a difference, right? Especially if you consider yourself to be a practitioner or an artist or an educator, right? Or like a black sheep. That's kind of the group of people I tend to attract in our lives, right? And that's mainly because I identify with all of them. You're going to need to have a healthy disassociation from how people are viewing you. So I love and I appreciate, Kat, that you're able to understand like the old version of me feels this way, but the new version of me understands that this is not a divine truth. Even if I can point out in the past people or experiences that have been against me, right? Good morning, right? That's not a thing. It's not necessary. And honestly, it really does hold us back, and we don't deserve that. Thank you for sharing that, Kat, because I am in the same energy as you. Oh, I apologize. No, Kat, that wasn't you. That was Amber. Sorry, my apologies. Carla, hello, hi. That's a great idea. I lived in a lot of cities and wishing something like this existed. I didn't think of that myself. Yeah, yeah, that's essentially what I want to do is be able to have this be a chapter based social wellness club where people can like host it in the cities that they're in. You know, like for me, I would also do something in New York City because that's where I'm from, but it would be for people who were born and raised there, right? Like for the locals, and that would be for us because I also understand the feeling of wanting to be with people that understand your city, that grew up in it. Then I also have the unique experience of being in a different city and not being from here and feeling alone, or trying to connect with the locals and they don't want to connect with you because they don't want to connect with you for whatever reason that is, and being okay with that. Because as a New Yorker, I understand it. I understand when New Yorkers are like, girl, I'm not trying to connect with someone that's not born and raised here for whatever reason, right? Usually it's based out of ego, but regardless, I'm okay with both experiences because I've been living in both experiences. Like when I go back to New York City, I'm back in my home base. I'm going to all my old spots, and then I realize like some of my spots have shut down. That makes me feel away, right? But I also understand being in Philadelphia and going to all these new places and experiencing it for the first time and being around people that have grown up with it and are looking at you like, like, wow, big whoop. That's how I feel about people when they're in New York City and they go to like the Empire State Building or the Statue of Liberty. Like I grew up with those things, so they're not as magical, if you will, or here in Philly, like the Liberty Bell and, the different things that they have here, Penn's Landing. People are just like, yes, yeah, is literally every day. And like you're kind of in the way. Like if you could move over, I can understand both experiences. Um, but I do think it's important, and that's hopefully something I'll be able to continue to build out. It's just like communities for expats and transplants to be with each other and to help each other learn too, because I also don't believe that it's on the locals to help us figure out everything either. I think we can also do that for ourselves. Yes, I run an arts organization. People copy me and they give up. It's hard work. Exactly, Amber. That's something I always remind myself too. Like, it's not gonna last long because you did not come to this realization on your own. You literally took this from someone else, right? And there's a concept from Liz Gilbert called like the creative consciousness. It's from her book Big Magic, and she talks about how we all get similar downloads because we're all pulling from the same creative cloud, right? And we all get similar downloads. Some of us are going to act quicker on these downloads than others. So when you see someone who has an idea very similar to yours, but you don't know them at all, like there's no connection to you, you know? Like you get like a random YouTube commercial and it's just like, oh, I had this exact idea, right? It's because we're all like the ideas have to come to life regardless. So if it's not going to be you, that's fine. It'll be somebody else. That's a different thing than you literally seeing someone's idea that you know or you're in communication with and taking that idea and trying to run with it. You will never have the endurance or the sustainability to see it through to its full fruition because you did not, that idea was not given to you from source. You took it from someone else, right? And really what that says too is that you're delaying the process of everyone being able to experience that magic because you are now getting in the way of something that somebody was doing because your ego is distorted. These are just things that are not necessary for us to experience, but for whatever reason we do in the human race, right? Let me see. It's lonely to be a trailblazer. To be a pioneer is not. It's not like the kindest journey. Quite often you are alone in certain type of ideologies or spaces. People don't really get it. But I want to when you have like your canon moment, right? A moment where all of a sudden it just everyone connects with what you've been doing. That's where like that, for lack of better words, like that superstardom happens, right? And you just kind of get catapulted into a bigger space, and that can feel very jarring. It's very good for you to remember that there were years, months, weeks, days where people did not understand you, and you have been prepping for this journey of people actually comprehending your genius. It takes time. People thought that Albert Einstein was crazy. People thought that the Wright brothers were crazy. Amelia Earhart, Madam C.J. Walker. Like there's so many people that during their time frame, they were literally considered like weirdos, if you will. And they are the reason why we have so many things today, centuries later, right? Decades later. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's true. Artistic people are visionaries. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Carla. Ever since he tapped into my spirit, my life has been wild. Ever since I tapped into my spirit, my life has been wild. That's beautiful. I started drinking matcha because of what you posted a decade ago. Thank you, Sia. I appreciate this discussion so much. I also recognize multiple people can be having simultaneous ideas, and that shouldn't stop us from persevering. Yes, 100%. I remember being told an example that there's a coffee shop and a laundromat on every corner in NYC. There is. Each location may very well serve a different need or population. Keep creating, keep sharing. Exactly, Dina. On top of the fact that what you have to give, like a couple of my best friends are meditation teachers, just like me, right? But it doesn't mean that I can't, communicate with them and be in communion with them because we do the same thing. We don't. One of my close girlfriends does meditation, but from a Christian based lens, right? Like, that's not what I personally do. Mine is usually through energy healing, right? Or beauty magic, through EFT. I have another girlfriend that does it through like inner child healing. I tap into that here and there because these things connect, but that's not my specialty per se, right? So understanding that your unique skills and talents will always be the thing that people are going for. People don't just come to me because I'm a meditation teacher. That may have gotten you in the door, but you stay because you like me, right? Or what I'm saying resonates, or what I'm saying inspires you, or what I'm saying maybe doesn't resonate with you. And you're kind of like, "Ooh, girl, why is this upsetting me? Let me figure this out." But regardless, there's a connection between us. There's a way that I relay my message through my tonality, through the words that I choose, through my life experiences, the stories that I tell that are unique to me, even though I have a very ordinary title as a meditation facilitator, right? Like, there are so many people who teach meditation, but no one teaches meditation like I teach meditation. And when you understand that and you lean into that, it truly does allow you to wash off the frustration that can come with feeling like you're with people who are like copycats. You know what I mean? um, I'm trying everything you did, um, Lotus. We never had our one-on-one. I don't know if I did something to upset you. Priscilla, no, you didn't do anything to upset me at all. Yeah, and I'm happy that you're doing the things that need to be done because that's super important. But I also want everyone on this live and watching the replay to remember that I am only one person. And right now, there's over 100 people that I'm speaking to in this moment. I am unable to service each person one on one. However, do I have different things and resources for you guys to use? Yes, because I understand that as one person, there are going to be a lot of people that may resonate with me or what is I'm talking about and want to use it. My goal as a practitioner will always be for you to be self sufficient in your wellness journey. My goal is that you never need me, but that I'm here if and when you do, whether that is through a one-on-one, whether that's through you catching up on a replay, listening to a podcast episode or an interview that I've done. I've literally put out years and years, decades of content. Nothing that I'm going to say to you in real time is going to be different than what I've been teaching for the past decade and a half. And I'm very transparent. I know a lot of practitioners will be like, because I want you to be a part of my coaching program and I want you to know that like it's a unique thing that most of us are repeating ourselves because the simplicity is what moves us forward. There's nothing new under the sun. And that's something to keep in mind. So if you are someone that's trying to work with me one-on-one, we can definitely discuss that. Priscilla, please feel free to follow up with me. Send me another email because between teaching lives every week, teaching one-on-one with the family, teaching meditation at a Montessori school, and then still having to create content, record and edit a podcast, put out distribution for that, then go into marketing, right? Then I still have to take care of myself, be with my own family, and then still build and pour into my sisterhood, right? While still having to like manage social media and then trying to get other contracts so that I can be able to continue to do free work, like the Lotus Hour, like the midweek tap-ins. That already is like 12 different jobs that I have to do by myself because I'm the one uniquely qualified to do that. So that means that emails might go missing, right? It may mean that I am delayed on responding. please feel free to like follow up and be like, hey, I'm just checking back in. I'm never going to be offended by you following up at all. I'm never going to be like, oh, Priscilla, what? No, I'm never going to be offended. Honestly, I probably will say thank you because it was something that was on my mind to do, and then something else came up. It doesn't mean that you're not a priority. It doesn't mean that I'm not willing to work with you in any capacity. It just simply means that like I'm a human being, and like there's only so much that my brain can process, and that's just the things that I'm doing like on the human level, because that doesn't even talk about my spiritual practices of like my altar work, right? Working with my ancestors, um, having to tap in and having these meditative moments. The fact that my sleep schedule is like non-existent because we're shifting into a new uh collective experience. Like these eclipses, these full moons, these things impact me mentally as much as they do emotionally, spiritually, and energetically. So please, you have never done anything to upset me. That is such a rare thing to do. Like you really have to be outlandish to upset me. No, just reach back out to me. Like shoot me another email. And yeah, once hopefully when I get my virtual assistant back, we can do more work together. But yeah, continue to do the things. I know it might feel frustrating of like, okay, I'm really wishing that I had this one-on-one coaching in this moment. Trust me, I've been there. But if you are able to cultivate a sense of endurance, a healthy foundation for yourself, and then you're able to go in with a coach or a practitioner and build on top of that, it will be more stable because you were working with yourself, your energy, and your source first, and then you came in and you had a coach or a practitioner help you navigate that. It is actually the healthier way to go about things. 100%. I know people don't necessarily like to hear that, and it doesn't mean that you're by yourself, but you're never by yourself if you're with me. If you're listening to my podcast, you're tapping into my energy in real time. If you're listening or reading one of my IG posts or the blog or a ritual, like that is still my energy. It still has the ability to help cultivate and hold space for you and keep you safe if you're interacting with it. Always. That is how energy works. That is why I share all this information all the time, because I really want us to understand that. Like my goal is that you never feel like you need me, but you always know that you have access to me in some way, shape, or form. Okay? Like I'm a big person on I am a healer, but I am not your healer. You are your healer. And if you have a practitioner that like kind of puts you in that headspace of like, no, you need me to heal, that is an unsafe person. I wouldn't work with them because they are siphoning your energy, and they are putting you in a place where you are lowering your confidence, where you don't think that you're capable of positively affecting your life, and you definitely are more than I'm capable of doing it for you. I can hold space for you in a container, but all that work that happens in there, that's all you and your magic. I just remind you that you have it, that you're capable, that you got this, that there's literally nothing that you cannot do for the betterment of your lifespan. And I full heartedly believe it, whether I know you personally or not. I just know that to be a divine truth. And that is what I do, and that's what I share, okay? So that goes for anybody, not just Priscilla, but if you are wanting to work with me one on one or in a different capacity, please just follow up. I know that that might be annoying for you, but please understand that I am just one person. Um, and my goal is to help as much as I possibly can without burning myself out. Okay? Okay. Thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate that a lot. But no, you could never do anything. I love you so much. There we go. Hi, Elisa. Yes, I can relate. I've been grieving my past life over a year now. But it's very necessary to not repeat toxic patterns. Yes, agreed. And create and reinforce boundaries. Yes, Elisa, I would definitely tell you to check out the last podcast episode that I dropped on grief, because it really does help us understand how grief shows up in our lives as a catalyst. So that's a resource for you to check out if you so choose. Thank you for seeing me, Rihanna. I feel invisible here now. I'm so sorry you feel this way, Priscilla, but you definitely are loved and cared for, and not only by me, but by several other people that are in this group. So I hope that that connection uh, is realized for you, right? Because that's super important. Here we go. Yeah, I agree. I agree, Rihanna. You're definitely not invisible here at all. I'm from Toronto, and Torontorians are very similar. Yeah, like please just go on about your. Yeah, Philadelphians are very prideful and intense people, and it happens. You know, folks down here will accept your leadership easier when you are from there. Yeah, Aisha, that makes a lot of sense to me. Yes, collaboration versus competition. Yeah, I'm not a person that's competitive. I've never been, even since I was like a child. Like I'm the person where if you play a game with me and you win, I'm like, yes, you did that. I'm super excited for you. I'm not a sore loser. I don't subscribe to that. Even though culturally I was pressed to be a very competitive person to be seen, right? But once I realized that like I'd rather create than compete, it changed everything for me, where I'm just like, yeah, like I'm not about to compete with you about something that I know is limitless. Like energy is limitless. Like there's more than enough room for all of us. I really believe that. And because I believe that, that is my reality. And then I'm surrounded by people that can also reinforce that truth for me, as opposed to me being around people that think that there's only one spot at the top. That's why people think that it's lonely to be successful. That's why a lot of people will sabotage their own success, because they think that they have to rise to the top by themselves, which means that they have to leave their family and friends behind. And that's why a lot of people choose not to be successful, whether it's a subconscious or a conscious act. It is simply because I don't want to do this by myself at all. And even though in certain aspects you are doing a lot of things on your own, when you realize that you're not alone because of your ancestors or because of your source or because of your family or friends, people that are locked in, that do believe in you, like a lot of my like a lot of my girlfriends really pour into me. They don't help me maybe with like the manual work of what I do, right? Even if they have the skill set for it, because they're doing their own thing. But like they pour into me and they remind me of who I am and why I'm good at this thing, so that I don't feel lonely. But if I'm focused on one way of seeing things and I'm just like, well, you don't come to my event, so you don't support me. No, this is the same person that can call at like 3 a.m. and they'll stay on the phone with me and walk me through my emotions. It's really about your perspective, right? And when we are able to widen our perspective to see how blessed we are in different ways, and how universe, our source, is constantly giving us the support that we need to live out our creative passions and dreams, we really get to be in a space of glory, in a space of feeling really good expressing ourselves and knowing that we are cared for and that we are safe in that experience. Okay? Um, yes. Favorite thing to say to writers: every story has been told. It's how you tell it that is different. Amber, that is such a good quote. Whew, that really resonated with me personally. I love that. Thank you for sharing that medicine. That was so beautiful. Whew, okay. Um, Here we go. Amy, hello. Here we go. Yes. Lotus, you are amazing. Just wanted to let you know. Thank you, Summerstar. I appreciate that so much. I understand that. I just felt so relieved when you offered one-on-one session. I'm so sorry I misunderstood. Thank you for clarifying. No, you didn't misunderstand. You're totally fine. This happens when we're feeling emotions and we're feeling like, oh, I'm going through a dark night of the soul and I need somebody to hold my hand. You just want your hand held. I respect that. I honor that. And again, that is not anything that's going to offend me or make me feel any type of way. Email me again today, because after this session I will be hopping on my emails for a little bit, and then we can figure out what that looks and feels like. Okay. But there's no need to apologize. You're good. Thank you for your work, Lotus. Truly incredible. Thank you, Amber. Amber, I love that every story has been told. Yes, it has, but like how you tell it is different. Oh man, that was really good, Amber. I kind of want to take a picture of that. I'm gonna write it down really quickly because I want to put that in the email, because I feel like other people would really benefit from that. Give me 1 second, y'all. I really do want to write this down. Every story. There we go. Amber. Perfect. Thank you, Amber, for that. Okay. No. You're fine, Priscilla. I'm a healer. but I'm not your healer. Yeah. Yeah. All the time. Yeah. 100%. No. I find that people who say like I'm a healer for everyone are really they tend to be very egotistical, and they tend to entangle their energy in ways with other people that is not the healthiest thing to do. Like, I want you to be able to do it on your own, because my biggest concern would be, what if there's one time that you really need me and you cannot reach out to me and get me in that time frame, and then you feel alone, and then that response makes you do something that could cause some type of self-harm. Like, I would be devastated by that. I don't think it's something I could ever really recover from. So me understanding that that is a big concern for me is why I produce as much content as I do, because I'm just like, at least there's something out there of me to you that can help you navigate through a hard time. Even if it's just like, listen, like, it's not a self-promotion thing. I'm never just like, listen to my podcast, get my numbers up, please. Like, no, it's just like, there's medicine in that podcast. I spent hours and days researching, recording, editing, even when I did not want to, because I understand that source is giving me insight and medicine to share. So even if I don't want to share it, like, my humanity is like, I am tired and I don't want to do this on my own, I would not be able to sleep at night or live with myself knowing that I didn't get that information out to y'all, because someone needs it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have come to me to give. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at the work that I create. And that's why I'm able to create as consistently as I am, because of that fact. Because literally, source wakes me up and like, somebody needs this and it needs to get done. And like, afterwards, you can rest. It's not always the most enjoyable experience. I will be very honest about that. Like, my humanity is sometimes a little irritated, but once I put that thing out, the responses that I get of like, this is exactly what I was needing. I literally talked to God about this, or I was talking to my ancestors and said I needed a sign or something. And like, you guys are feeling reinforced with your spiritual connections because of something I was able to listen enough to give out. That is why I do it. You know what I mean? Like, the numbers, the streaming, all those things like that are like irrelevant to me. It really does matter that like it helps y'all. Like, it's very important. Like, there is a different intention to the amount of work that I do and the quality of work that I put out. It is truly because I am being called to do it. And I'm going to be very transparent about that. Like, on my own, me as Lotus alone, I probably would not do as much as I do, because I am tired most of the time, on top of like the autoimmune disorders that I'm naturally navigating, and making sure that my mental health is good. And yeah, like, no, I would choose to just not do it because that would feel better for me. But spiritually, I would feel like I am not living up to the legacy that I was given from my own ancestors and the way that they helped their communities. It would be a disservice to my spirit to not show up and do these things. So do I modify? Do I adjust? Yes, but I still show up. I think that's important to know in general about a lot of practitioners, not just myself. But yes, I love how you empower people to empower themselves always, because you yourself, when it comes to your journey, absolute magic. I am always impressed with the things that I am able to cultivate and lean into because I show up in my journey. And then the sweetness that comes afterwards, where I have, like, I think that's why I have such a loving community. I think that that's why I have such beautiful, healthy friendships and family. Like, I really believe it's because I show up when spirit tells me to show up. Like, I don't have the issues that a lot of other people that are public have, where like they have like trolls, or people are mean, or they're getting like sued, or because this is genuinely me showing up because God asked me to. And I really do feel like that covers me and protects me. And it also brings people to me that are like reflections of me. I see myself in everyone that I talk to, especially if you are someone that regularly comes to a Lotus Hour. Like, yeah, like Amy, Sia, Like, oh my goodness, Rahana, Priscilla's been here for a very long time. I don't forget that. The Kellys, the other Amy, oh my goodness, Kieran, and even his son Logan, who again doesn't hop on personally, but literally every Sunday I say hi because I know that they're there, even if he's just watching the replay. These are things that I do because it means a lot to me. You know what I mean? Like Aisha, Marquand, TJ, Vita, Amazon, Goddess Mo. Like there's so many people that contribute. Nia. Oh my goodness. Like the names are just dropping in now in my head. Jack. Like people are doing this. And I also don't take offense when you guys need space and time because you're going through your own things. Like you guys are allowed to ebb and flow the same way. And I love you regardless. The Kianas, like literally, there's so many people. I am able to witness and see you all because seeing you is how I see myself. Like the things that I say to you is not to like beef you up or like to hook you. It's really because I believe that. I don't need to have met you in person to understand that. And every time that I do meet someone in person from a live, I'm accurate in what I said, you know? So it allows me to have a confidence as a practitioner to move forward. But my love is very genuine. And like, yeah, you are the best person to save yourself. You are Batman and I am Robin. Okay? For those that are into comic books, like I happily will be a sidekick in your journey. But as long as we understand that you are the main person that is going to shift your life forward outside of who you believe in, who your God is. And I'm just here to remind you of that. Like your cheerleader, easily. Like always. You will always have a safe space here with me. Okay? Maxine, thank you so much. Hi. Hi, Lenny. Welcome from Germany. You're 14. You're doing a really incredible service to yourself by tuning into conversations like this. I love this. Even healthy competition is co-creative. Iron sharpens iron. Agreed, Carla. Agreed. I don't compete, I create. You should definitely put that on a t-shirt. Shine, maybe I will. Yeah, I do not compete. I'm just not a competitive person. I've never been. It used to stress my family out a lot because they are very competitive. And I'm just kind of like, but somebody won and it's amazing. Like I'm also really excited that you won. They're like, no, but like we lost. I'm like, yeah, but they did really good. Like I can see why they won. Yeah, I'm not often placed on like teams anymore in the family. I'm usually like the referee or like the host. Yeah, it's a thing. You should see us at like holiday time. It's actually quite funny. Or at least it's funny for me. Sometimes I get really upset like, girl, please. I've missed you. Hi, Tatiana. Haven't seen you so long at a live. Yeah, I'm doing it a little later now. I'm so happy you're here. That's a good point. You work within your means, but you still show up for the work. Yeah. Yeah. Because I also realize that I can be a very rigid human being. I can be so intense where I'm like, well, if I was doing it at this time, then what's the difference between me doing it now? Like I have to do it the same time every day, or I have to do it the exact. I have that ability to be that intense and that like a Philistine in my vision, and it's harmful because who I am yesterday and what I was able to do yesterday doesn't mean I can do it today. I'm a whole different person like today. Like I don't have the same energy access today. And when I remind myself of that, it really does give me peace. Otherwise, I just be ruled by my perfectionism all the time and constantly trying to show up the exact same way and then being frustrated when I don't get the same results or the same outcomes. Not acknowledging that who I was yesterday is going to be different today because I have more life experience now. Whether that's trauma or like, you know, a healthy experience. Regardless, there's more to me than there was yesterday. And I still am uncovering and navigating that. And if you compile that on and on, like, yeah, then you include the influence of like the cosmos and then how other people respond to you and then whatever lens it is that you're looking through because of your traumas. I'm not going to produce the same things every single day as much as I would like to. I'm just not going to. And the more that I tell myself that I'm not going to produce the exact same way, it becomes less about uh in the artist way. Julia Cameron says it's about the quantity for the artist, not the quality. And I wasn't always taught that. I was taught quality over quantity, right? But she says that because the goal is to co-create with source, and that source provides you the quality. You just show up as best as you possibly can for the experience. Make sure you're taking good care of yourself, because the better you take care of yourself, the better you show up. But ultimately, the quality is not going to be you. It's going to be God, source, whoever you call on to in your time of need, because that's who you're channeling when you're tapping into your artistry, when you're tapping into your creativity or your life's calling. You are the vessel. You make sure that you are strong enough, have the endurance enough to pull out that dream or that desire that was given to you. But the quality, give it to God. And that was very hard for me to understand or to agree with, as somebody that is very adamant about things being of quality. It was very hard for me to accept that. Sometimes it still rubs me the wrong way. But when I started to embrace that concept, the amount of stress that no longer lived in my body, the amount of ease and me going to sleep and not panicking because an email wasn't sent out, or because, you know, something happened with editing and I just know that it was wrong. I'm able to breathe again and experience the humanity that comes with this lifestyle and comes with this life that I'm living, and just trust that the message is going to come through. And the best example I can give you is that it was one of my previous episodes, and I sent it to my girlfriend to check out, Fatima. And I was like, girl, I just told her this whole list of like what I could hear that was wrong with it, and like the lighting and things like that. And she had responded before I had sent the message, and she was just like, this is amazing, like this is exactly what I needed to hear today. Thank you for sharing that. I'm like, you didn't hear the audio quality, and she's just like, I mean, now she's pointed it out, I can hear it, but like that didn't stop me from getting the message. And that was that reminder of like, the quality is not what we think is quality. It's the context. It's the fact that like this was given to me by source. That's all she heard. She didn't hear the choppy editing that I thought that she was going. She didn't hear any of that. She was there for the word. And I have to remind myself that there are going to be people that are here for the quality, and they're going to receive that, and they don't necessarily care what the packaging may look like, because they're just like, girl, this was nourishing for me. Thank you for showing up and doing that. And then there are going to be other people that care about the packaging, right? Because they're not there for the message. And that's also fine too. That doesn't mean that I'm not good at what I do, or that it's not like of quality. It just means that that's not the target audience, because every single time my target audience, no matter what I think of the work I put out, they are always very grateful and they resonate with it deeply every single time. I've never not once had that issue, unless you're not the target audience. And then in that case, it's just like, I wouldn't expect it to resonate with you because it wasn't made for you. You want me to make it for you, so you're giving me feedback so that it could resonate with you, and I can choose to do that as an artist, as a practitioner, or not. I can guide you to someone else. I had another student that is like Christian based, and she was just like, I just wish you spoke more about Christianity. And I'm like, that's not what I personally do, but like, check out my girlfriend Fatima. I have no problem doing that because I have resources to give. The point is that you get the message that you need to get, right? So like, these things are what are constantly, I guess, going through my head all the time, and we're just really just having a heart to heart about it. So I really hope it's resonating, because this is not what I plan on talking about at all today. I had an entire class outline about a completely different topic, but again, this is where we're heading, and I'm going to embrace that. The perfectionist in me is just kind of like, girl, you literally have like 20 more minutes, 30 minutes, and you're talking about something that's not what we agreed to talk about. But when you're working with source intimately, you'd be so surprised by like how many things you plan that just end up being something completely different. There's a saying, we plan and God laughs. Like, it's an accurate saying, because it's just like, that's what you thought you were doing, but here's what I need you to do. And just respecting that dynamic that goes a long way. I will definitely say that. Firefly! Oh my goodness, it's been so long. Stop. Oh, I have not seen Firefly's name in what, months? How are you? Oh my goodness. Kiana, hi. I literally just spoke about you. I love the later time, Lotus. The later time. Oh, I'm so happy. Yeah, I was like, I think we all need this. I know I definitely do. So glad to see it this time. Really needed this. I almost lost my job at work because of a communication misunderstanding and feeling misunderstood and like I wasn't given a chance. I'm so sorry to hear that, Firefly. Misunderstandings can really just put us in such uncomfortable spaces. It's so beautiful. Hi, Jack. We were just talking about you too. When we are able to practice communicating, you know, so that we can get the message across, but also honoring the fact that, like, I could say something in a certain way with the tonality and all the things that I've learned how to speak and communicate, and someone can still misunderstand me because through their lens of their own experiences in life, what they understand, like their level of education, their social status. There's so many things that go into how somebody can comprehend what you're saying, even if you are super intentional in doing so, right? It could be them talking to you or listening to you through their control drama. You don't have really any real influence on changing that, right? They're gonna see it how they see it. However, it's good that we try, you know, and that we do our best, and that we also understand that sometimes a miscommunication really is out of our hands. So I really do hope that it does get clarified for you, Firefly, because I don't necessarily want you to lose employment over this, and that there's some type of proper conflict resolution in your job, because like you shouldn't lose your job over a miscommunication. At least that's my belief. But then again, I don't have any employees, so take it with a grain of salt. Okay. Source provides you the quality, friend, queen, man. Carla, yeah, the artist way really got me together, and I was not happy about that statement again. And I was like, but I know good quality. I could do it myself. But that was my ego being unhealthy and wanting to be like, no, I want all of the credit, not some of the credit. Which is crazy because like when I think about being credited for things and being able to thank God, for me personally, thank my ancestors who have done incredible things when they were on earth, that feels so much more fulfilling than to say it was all me. You know? But I also too do have a healthier ego which understands that co-creating, collaborating is really a beautiful experience to have and showcase more of your skill set. It's not an easy thing to collaborate, by the way, with source or with other people. Like, it's not a thing. You can instantly think back to, like, and I'm pretty sure many of you were this person, because I know I was when I was in school, where I'd rather do a project by myself because working in a group was just driving me crazy. I'm like, you guys have different work ethics, different perspectives, and I really just don't even want to take it in. I'd rather work by myself, right? Because then I have more control over what it is, and I'm also okay with if I fail because at least it was me. But if I fail because of you, I'm gonna be livid, right? Like, I think about that so often, and then as I've gotten older, realizing that you have to have a level of trust in yourself that you're attracting the right people to collaborate with, that you're not attracting them out of a distorted or unhealthy ego, and that when you are listening to God, that it is God and not just like your inner critic, you know, or like past traumas in your head making you think that it is something it's not. That requires a lot of self-trust to be able to collaborate with other people, to collaborate with source and spirit. It takes time to get to that space, you know? Um, Here we go. Just checking in. Fatima, not yet. Fatima's awesome. Saying Carla, and then to have life challenges laid on that. Like, please, just, you know, like, how much more can I take? I get it. I've had to learn to not let perfection be the enemy of the good. Agreed, Kat. I'm personally still constantly working on that more than I would like to. My goodness. Your content is so nourishing. Thank you, Firefly. Elisa, Jack, Lotus gave you a shout out early. I did. I was like, Jack, like, please, I love my people very deeply. You must have sensed it. Maybe. My Lotus tapping alarm just went off. Summer Star, I love this. And saying that you gave me permission to lean even more into the joy of creating and sharing. I was brought up that everything is ministry, service. Ooh, that's beautiful. Which often translates for me into labor. I can also see that. So good. And we will get to the other message another time. Bonus. Yes, I agree, Carla. We will. Thank you for rolling with it. Yeah, I will roll with God all the time. Sometimes reluctantly, but I still roll. Okay? I still roll. But yes, ministry and service, yeah. Same thing. Being of service can feel very stressful to say and to do. And for me personally, as a Black woman, like in this particular country, to be of service usually means something wildly different, which can be very triggering to me. Like ancestral rage is definitely a real thing that I experience a lot more often than I would like to. So I try my best to remember that to be of service for me means to be in service of source, and not as in like a servant that I'm going out and doing this, but really being able to again co-create and collaborate with source so that I am properly using this vessel I was given to express the passions and perspectives that I believe in, you know? So it is still very much about me. And that's very important to have for longevity. Because if you continue to put other people before you, you're not going to last as long as you would like to. Or if you end up lasting long, you are worn out and exhausted by it and probably have a lot of resentment towards your community. And I just have too many beautiful people in my life to resent. Like, I just rather make sure that I'm good enough to show up and do what needs to be done, you know? I love it when you follow where you're led, Lotus. Oh, thank you, Jack. I feel the same way. It's always nice. Sometimes I get a little nervous, like, what are we going to talk about? And I'm just like, girl, you're literally talking to soul family. You're going to talk about soul stuff. Like, you'll be fine. Like, relax. Hey, Jack, I was wondering where you were. Yes, yes, exactly. We say in my classes, communication is what the listener does. Ooh, Dina, that's beautiful. Ooh, I love that. Lotus, they got cotton balls in their ear or something. They might. They might. I struggle with the idea of perfectionism, so this conversation is exactly the reminder that I needed to just live, be, and do. Yeah, because perfectionism is not a real thing. There's no perfect way to do anything. I try to remind my niece of that because she's really struggling with perfectionism and she's only 8, and it stresses me out personally because I'm like, that is just going to bring you down an entire road that you don't need to be brought down. Like, let's just figure out how we can fix this. But you still need to, like, when you take something out of your orbit, you need to fill that orbit, that space, that void with something else. Otherwise, the thing you took out is going to just gravitate right back to its home, right? So when I removed the word perfectionism, I've really learned and leaned into, in the beginning, it was progress, right? Like progressing forward, moving forward. Now it's just like practice. Like, girl, you're going to practice. And think about people who practice. Sometimes they get it right and sometimes they fail. Either way, they practice. They got better at it because they spent time in the experience of it. That's really all that matters. If everybody hates it, then everybody hates it. That's also not your business or your concern. The point is, you need to be content with the fact that you were able to show up, that you gave whatever it is that you had, and then you can reflect on that. So if I say for myself, I did something and I'm like, oh, but it would have been better had I been well rested, or, you know, like I was in a better mindset, then the call to action for me is not to beat myself up about not being perfect, but to take better care of myself, to make sure that I do get enough sleep, to make sure that I am well rested, to make sure that I am in a healthy environment. So when I show up again, because that's the thing with practice, is that you're going to get another opportunity to do it again, I can do it in a way that's more satisfying to me, that I can like be okay with. That's how I take those things, you know? The Artist's Way, great book. It's such a good book. It stresses me out every time I read it, but it's such a good book. Lotus, you like The War of Art? I do. I do. When I was younger, I read The War of Art and The Art of War. It was funny because I think I read the Art of War first, and I was like, this is not what I thought the book was going to be about. And then I read the reverse title, and I was like, oh, this is the book that I meant to read. Both books are really good. The Art of War is really intense though, but The War of Art, yes, I loved that book when I was younger. I might have to reread that again. Yes, lots of control, drama at work. So annoying. All I can do is my best and try to let go, which is so hard for me. Perfectionism is another challenge for me. Yeah, Firefly, continue to do exactly that. And then again, for anyone that's struggling with work, I would always refer, excuse me. There we go. I would always refer back to the gratitude galore um, for the days that were specific about work because they do help. It could just mean that we need a little bit more gratitude, a little bit more magic in the workspace for us. And if we can focus on the magic, on the gratitude, by default, other people will work on it and will focus on it too. Okay? The minute that we shift our perspective, everyone else's perspective will have to realign to our new one, or they'll fall away. So people that don't want to get in alignment will just get out of alignment, and the people that do will. Okay? I'm a performer, so I have had a hard time thinking of myself as an artist when I'm not collaborating. I'm not being called to create for myself, which is a bit of a paradox, but I see how it will bring me into balance to focus on embracing my own raw creativity. I agree, Carla. Yes, we have to learn to channel the ancestral rage into creative work. It gets very intense. It gets so intense. Oh my goodness. The support of a curated community is crucial. Yes to both of what you said. Like, giving yourself time to experience your raw talent, your raw creativity is so important because many of us are blocked creatives. And there are some times where I'm talking to myself and I'm like, oh, you're blocked. You're a blocked creative right now. And not judging myself for it, but just acknowledging it, you know, and like, okay, well, why were you critiquing this way? Or like, why did it upset you this way? Like really leaning into realizing like, because sometimes I'm like, oh, I feel like I could have did this better. Like you just wanted to express your creativity and you didn't do it and someone else is doing it and you feel a way about it because that's really what you want to do. You want to express it. I may not want to do the exact same thing that person is doing. And again, this kind of goes back to our previous conversation about inspiration. It's not that I want to do exactly what you're doing. It's the fact that I want to do, and I'm going to say the same thing, but there's a different tonality to it. Exactly what you're doing. Does that make sense? Like, I don't want to do, like, if I'm watching a dancer perform, I don't want to be a dancer performing. Because, I mean, even though it's really cool and it's inspiring to see you moving that way, like, I'm definitely into it. I'm in awe. But I actually just want to be an artist sharing my art. So, yes, I want to do what you're doing, but it's not exactly what you're doing. And I think that's where we get tripped up on inspiration and not realizing, like, it's not exactly what they're doing. You just want to express your art. You just want to be seen as an artist. You want to feel brave enough to be an artist. You want to feel safe enough to be an artist. You just want to be an artist. You want to acknowledge the fact that you are artistic. Like, this is literally what you want to do. And embracing that is so big. And it's really stretching to do because once we share art, part of that means that people are going to have some type of comment about it. And some people are going to enjoy it, some people are going to absolutely hate it. And you have to be okay with both of them. You have to be okay with praise and you have to also be okay with deep critique. And then also understanding, like, just because somebody doesn't like your work doesn't necessarily mean that your work is bad. It just means that they don't like it, you know? I get a lot of comments every now and then on Insight Timer about, like, the my meditations. Like, someone's like, I didn't like your music. That's why I gave you 1 star. And I'm just like, so you enjoyed the meditation, but not the music. And this is why you rated me so low on something that I didn't produce. You know what I mean? And you have to remind yourself of like, okay, because I can take that in my perfectionism of like, okay, I'll never use this track again. I'll never use anything that sounds like it again because I don't want this one person to like give me another low rating, right? Like, because that's what perfectionism does. It's like you made one mistake and you should have made no mistakes. But then I also acknowledge the fact that like, yeah, I can't control the fact that you don't like my taste in music. That's totally understandable. Do I feel like I should have gotten a low rating because of it? Like, no, because the purpose of it was the meditation, which you just clearly stated you enjoyed. But again, different lenses, right? For them, they're like, you're missing this one part. So because you're missing this one part, you failed to me. As opposed to it being, well, the majority of what you did was amazing. I didn't like the music. But it doesn't mean I'm going to penalize you for your music choice. And it's just understanding that people are going to show up however they can, however they want to, whenever they want to, and you got to also be okay with that. Like, the easier it is for you to accept that people are going to do whatever they want to do and it has nothing to do with you and it's not a reflection of your worth or your quality, the easier it is to navigate life personally. Oh, sorry, my laptop just told me. Oh, there we go. Okay, let me just see, and then we're gonna do our. I'm sorry, guys. Nieces. Oh my goodness, my niece slept up here today and last night, and I just realized that she unplugged my laptop charger to charge her phone. Very teenage energy, teenage coded, but we're good now. Okay, perfect. Thanks. I'll check that out. Yeah, please do. Um, yes, yes. Thank you for this call to action and framing everything as learning. Yeah, everything is learning. Everything is learning all the time. We are forever students. Needed to hear that on changing perspective and others getting into alignment or falling away. Yeah, they're gonna do what they want. Artem, hello. Yes, and some people have no idea of the impact of negative feedback given in a non-thoughtful way. They have no idea at all. I'm like giving somebody, oh, and a lot of practitioners talk about this, like in our community. I was like giving somebody a 1 star because you don't like the music choice, especially for practitioners of color. Like it means that we are not being as seen on the platform because the quality of work is being told that it's not good when in fact it is. So like you really want to be thoughtful when you are giving back feedback because it can affect someone's confidence, the way that they see themselves. It also can directly affect their livelihood. And I think a lot of times we don't understand the type of influence and power that we do have in other people's lives. When we are in a relationship, there is a give and there is a receiving, right? And we want to make sure that we're operating in that and honoring that of like, okay, not to say you don't give back honest feedback, because give back feedback because it can help somebody grow, but be mindful of how you're giving it back and in which way you're giving it back because it could directly impact them in their lives and people don't realize that. Something as simple as like a 1 star rating can be the reason why people are not finding certain meditations because the algorithm of Insight Timer is not going to promote things that have low ratings, right? Like if you don't have a certain amount of ratings, you're not being seen, which for the practitioner can be devastating in the way that they're showing up and make them think like, should I even be doing meditation? Should I even be doing this? Like it's not being received. Maybe this is not what I need to be doing. And then on top of that, because we live in a capitalistic society, like now I'm also not being paid for my time, energy, and creative efforts because one person didn't like something like music or someone didn't like, I don't think they like the way that I use like one word and they're like, this one word really upset me. Like that's a preference for you and your own experience. That's not actual feedback, right? You know? Like, and I feel like even for Fatima, when she does a lot of Christian based stuff, people are like, well, why are you always talking about Christ? Like, talk about other people. And she just like, it literally says it all over my platform that this is Christian based work. Why? If you don't like Christian based work, then you probably wouldn't like my stuff. But to go and leave a rating and saying that doesn't really help because I've clarified that that's what we're doing here. You know what I mean? Like, it's important for us to just kind of remember the roles that we play in these relationships. So important, right? Sleeping is struggling since childhood. Okay. Yeah, or I see people rate poorly because they couldn't concentrate that day. Yeah. It's like these are things that are out of my control. Must be hard to be in that position as a conscious creator. It is. It is very hard to do. And sometimes I have to remind people like you are talking to a human being. So like if someone leaves a very rude comment, which doesn't happen often, I respond like, hey, this is a human being that you're talking to, and it's okay if you not to like my content. However, you also don't have to listen or engage with it. You could just not listen to it. It's almost as people are mad at me because I'm not showing up in the exact same way that they want me to show up for them, that they see me and like, you should be showing up for me exactly like this. And when you're not doing that, I'm going to penalize you for that. That's a control drama. I can't really do anything about that because I'm not, a puppet or a pet that you can just call on. I'm a human being sharing my passions with the world. It just didn't resonate with you. I only leave feedback if it's like necessary first and foremost. Positive feedback is different, but like negative feedback, construction feedback is usually based off of things that really affect my core beliefs, right? So if someone is producing something or something that's racist or sexist, right? Um, or ableist or, you know, ageist, like these are things that are very important to me where I'm like, I don't play with that, then yes, I'm going to leave you feedback. I'm still going to be mindful about how I do it because the point of the feedback is for you to feel inspired and encouraged enough to shift what it is that you're doing so that it's safer for other people to consume. People fail to understand that concept all the time. It's not just for you to just share your opinion because you're in a mood that day. No, like it's really to help them be better at their work, to elevate their craft. And we always just don't do that. And that's unfortunate because if we did, we would just be producing even more beautiful things. I found an incredible creator who um, has lowered production values but has amazing message. Yeah, I think about people that go viral all the time and they're just like sitting in their car, just chit chatting with you on their phone, and their videos are going viral because it's the quality of the content. It's not about necessarily the packaging. Like, and some people go viral because of the packaging, because the visual and audio experience is so soothing to the nervous system that they don't necessarily care what they're talking about. They most likely aren't talking about much because they are feeding a certain aspect of their audience, and their audience needs that visual and that audio. Other people just need a clear message that resonates with them and inspires them. There are so many different groups of people in the world. Just show up and see who is attracted to you and see if that's who you want attracted to you, you know? That's also important. Um, yeah, literally, it's in Fatima's page. And she's gotten a lot of that too, to the point where at one point I think she took a break from Insight Timer because she was getting frustrated. Like, you're begging me to change my content when this is just my, like, there's other practitioners. Just go to them instead of constantly leaving me negative feedback about something that I've clearly stated to you I will continue to do. It's a frustrating experience as an artist when you show up in spaces and people are like forcing you or trying to make you behave a way that's more comfortable for them. Because art usually does make you, it can make you feel uncomfortable because it's challenging you to look at life in a different way that you're not used to looking at it. Thank you so much. Most meditations include Christian content. Yeah, but a lot of her comments that she was getting in a certain phase of her life were just like, why? Just like, because that's what she wants to do. We have to be okay with that. Yes, I only rate if I feel it's a 5, to be honest. Yeah, and there's different ways. If Fatima's right here right now, yes. Like, yeah, like that's crazy. It doesn't make any sense, like at all. Just don't. Leave feedback when it's necessary. And like really think about the feedback because you are talking to a whole human being on the other side. Like, we have feelings, we exist. It's very important. Like, very, very important. You know? Just please. I just beg of you. Okay. Perfect. Let's do a quick card reading because that's normally what we do. Again, I've gotten comments about like, well, I feel like tarot decks and oracle decks are very like, you know, demonic, and I just feel like I wish you wouldn't do that. And like, totally understandable, but like, yeah, I don't know which way we do about that because that depends on the practitioner, not the practice. Also too, like, if that's not something that you like and you know this is literally what I do every week, then just tune out for that section or ignore it, skip over it, or, you know, you don't have to necessarily come to this if this is what something that upsets you too. Like, you know, honor your own boundaries, but don't expect someone to change who they are simply because it makes you uncomfortable, especially when it's, you know, I don't want to say it's not a valid reason because honestly that might be valid for somebody in their experience. It just is not in alignment. Like, you're not going to be aligned to everybody. That's okay too. There's nothing wrong with being out of alignment either. Because if you're out of alignment with somebody else, that means that there is somebody else to be in alignment with. And I would focus my energy on finding and connecting with that person than trying to force someone to be something that they just are not. Let me know if that makes sense for y'all, okay? Okay, we have one more card pull. Let me know if you guys can hear me too, because it said that it was bad. Hi, Carrie. Okay. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Okay, we have our card pulls. The first one is really nice. I really feel like it's fitting for summer. Summer? No. Oh my goodness, my face, my brain. Fall. Fall equinox. I was like, summer equinox is not a thing. We think and we learn. Okay, so for fall equinox, a new start. Do you guys see that? There we go. Me and my YouTuber hands. Perfect. A new star is coming, new moon. This is like celebratory, okay? And again, there's that silver lining of where we're starting at here. And then all this is the unknown, things that we haven't experienced yet. Adventure. A new start is coming. The exclamation point really signifies it's something we should be celebrating and be excited about, okay? You need to understand that something new is coming and that it's a good thing. Even if you're having a hard time pulling yourself away from the old version of yourself, it doesn't mean that what's coming is not going to be absolutely phenomenal and life-changing and allow you to live your most aligned life. So really allow it to be a sense of celebration. See if you can encourage yourself, or even, I don't want to say challenge, but I'll say challenge for lack of better words. Challenge yourself to, in those moments where you're like, oh, I wish I could do the things that I normally used to do. You know, the things that I'm used to, the things that I'm comfortable with. Challenge yourself to see the adventure in doing something new and being like, okay, this is who I used to be and what I used to do. However, I'm given an opportunity to expand, to stretch, to try something new and to see if I like it. Because you're not going to know if you like it or not until you actually try it out. See how it's going. Also, just thought about Courtney. I'm not sure if she's here, but if you're watching the replay, hi, Courtney. You just came to mind. Okay. Yeah, so very important. A new start is coming. Allow this to happen for you. Let this be a joyful moment. Don't look at all of this and be like, oh, it's so dark, I can't see. What if I have the skill set? Like, no. Enjoy it. Trust in the fact that if I don't have something that I need right now, which is usually not true, we usually have everything that we need in every single moment. If you are present enough, you were thinking about goddess mode too. Yeah, I'm wondering, right? In the present moment, you have everything that you need in each moment. Now, you may not have what you need 5 minutes from now, but when you get to those 5 minutes, you probably will. It's very important to remember that when you're talking about adventure, when you're talking about exploring new things, trying new habits, even if they're a habit where you're like, well, I tried it before and I failed at it, so I'm not gonna be able to do it again. You, each day, with each breath, you are evolving into a newer version of yourself. There's so much about you that you're still discovering. For all you know, the thing that didn't work a few years ago might be exactly what you need to do today. Don't be afraid to revisit certain habits and recycle if need be, or to just absolutely do something completely new you've never done before, never thought you would do. Allow that to be a new experience for you, okay? Our next card is in reverse, so that's that internal work that we want to do, and it's show the world the real you, full moon in Aquarius. I'm going to show you what it looks like right side up. There we go. It's so beautiful. Like, oh my gosh, these cards are so pretty. Okay, show the world the real you. It's in reverse because show your inner world the real you. Who cares about the people outside of you right now? Okay, I know that sounds very dramatic, but like, let's just keep it in that frame of mind. Show yourself, your inner world, the real you. So often we are so caught up in having to express ourselves in the proper way, the most well-received way for people outside of us, that we're not catering to the inner world within us. Like, there's a whole entire world, galaxy, stars. Like, there's so much within you that needs to know who you are. I think we have this really interesting understanding of like, well, it's within me, so it understands who I am. Like, how do we know that if we're not taking time to cultivate that relationship? If you're not meditating, if you're not doing some type of somatic practice, whether it be EFT or breath work, things that are going to allow you to tune in and be able to strengthen your intuition so that you can hear it clearer. right? That's all internal work that you need to be doing. That's who you need to be showing who you really are. It's not about proving yourself to outside people because, again, we have no control over their influence, their lenses, their perspectives, their beliefs. We have no idea how to really navigate that, no matter how good you are with people. That should be secondary. Your primary priority needs to be showing your internal world who you are, exploring what that looks like, tapping back into your magic, tapping back into your passion. Have you checked in with your inner child recently? Have you checked in with your ego to see how your ego's doing? Does it feel supported? Does it feel like it's disoriented? Have you checked in with your inner self? How is that doing? Have you checked in with your ancestors, with your spirit? These things live within us. Are you checking in with that inner world? What does it need to flourish? Take that time out while we're transitioning into a new season to see what that looks and feels like for you. Because everything on the outside is only there because of what's happening on the inside. So the better we get at cultivating our inner world and making it beautiful and making it nourished, that's what we'll get on the outside. We'll start to see the change in our environments, the change in our dynamics, and we'll be able to feel safe in both spaces. Because the truth is, you can never feel safe in the outside world if you don't feel safe within at all. It really does matter what's happening internally and how you perceive the outside world. Okay? So that's our second card. And then we have your commitment is being tested. First quarter moon. I'll show you guys this. It's such a pretty card. It's like it's glowing, right? Oh my gosh. Halfway mark. That commitment that's being tested. You know, I don't like the word test. You know, these aggressive words sometimes are very triggering for me. But in the context of this card, your commitment to your well-being, your commitment to your spirituality, your commitment to your character, you know, your core values, these internal things again, right? Nothing else that is outside of you is being tested because source, universe, God, whoever you call on to, wants to know, are we rocking with these things? Like your core beliefs, are they still your core beliefs? Or do we need to switch them up, right? Like these perspectives, this lens that you have on the world, is it serving you? Because if it is serving you, let's recommit and move forward. But if it's not serving you, stop committing to things that do not serve you simply because other people are used to experiencing that through you. So important. So important. If something is no longer working for you and you understand and you know that you're getting that tug on your heart, that pull, you have to have enough trust in yourself and in your source that if you choose to shift that, that your community is going to respect that. I immediately am thinking of just even the time frame of my live shifting and how that could have caused me so much anxiety of like, we were so used to 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and I'm going to move it 3 hours later. Like, what if people are at work? What if they can't do? All these other words can come up. But at the end of the day, I am committed to my well-being. And I know that my well-being requires me to have more time in the morning to cultivate, to be a practitioner that's tapped in and tuned into their energy so that when I am going live, people feel safe. People can explore who they are. People can connect with other people. People can get the message that they need to receive, which means that I'm going to have to readjust, right? What are you committed to? And is that commitment for you or outside of yourself? And if it's outside of yourself, our second card is telling us that's not the priority right now. Fall in its essence is about tuning inwards. It's about tuning inwards and pruning, starting to pay attention to the inner world and deciding and witnessing what works and what doesn't work. Okay, I did this during summer and spring, and it was cute while I had the energy to do it, but now I don't have the energy to do that anymore. So can I readjust it? Can I revamp it? Or do I need to just put it to bed right now and maybe revisit it again when spring and summer come around, right? If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, right? These are things for you to really lean into and to witness and to understand about who you are and what you're here to do, okay? So those are our 3 card pulls. Please let me know which one resonated with you in the comments below. And we're going to do a quick 2-minute meditation, and then we're going to hop off, okay? Firefly, thank you so much for your donation. Again, this is a donation-based practice. Thank you, Firefly, for reminding me. If you're able to donate, you're more than welcome to. I know a lot of you all expressed on Wednesday that you actually don't feel comfortable donating on the platform because of the 30% that's taken out, and there's really no way to get around it. So please look out for my emails. I will put the donation portion of that email a little higher for people to see. So if you want to donate, if something resonated with you today and you're like, look, I do want to share an energy exchange and give financially, I just want to make sure that you're receiving all of it. I thank you and I appreciate that. You'll see it in my email. If you're not on my email list, just shoot me a DM with your email and I'll manually add you to it, and you'll receive an email sometime this week and it'll have that donation there. Okay, so I'm flexible however you feel free to do it. If you can't donate financially, if you're unable to right now, you can leave a rating, listen to a track, join one of my groups, whether it's on Insight Timer or my private membership. You can listen to the podcast, subscribe, share an episode, subscribe to YouTube, leave a comment. There's so many different ways for you to express gratitude and to keep an open channel of even exchange between your practitioner and what you're receiving. Just make sure that you do something to show your gratitude, even if it's a simple thank you. These are things that help us, okay? All 3 cards, they fit exactly what's happening in my life right now. Jody, I love this. There's a link in your bio, direct us to your podcast. The link in the bio should direct you to my email list, but in my emails that you get, there's always a link to my podcast. But the podcast name is Lotus Like, and it's everywhere. I think only Apple users have this donation issue, but maybe I'm mistaken. No, you're not. If you have Android, you're able to donate, and I received the full amount of donation. But most people, from what I understand from the last live, have Apple, which means that, yeah, they're going to take 30%. And that 30% does account for a lot. We'll definitely say that too. I would like to see your episode on grief, like you recommended. Yes, Elisa, it's on Lotus. Like, it's literally my last episode that I put out. Episode 3 is called Good Grief. It's a really good episode. It has a lot of resources if you're grieving or if you're transitioning. It's super, super, super jam-packed with resources to help you, see the beauty in the grief, because there is beauty there. Okay? Yes, on Spotify. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Okay, perfect. I thank you all, before we jump into this meditation, for just being here with me and chit-chatting with me. Okay? If it feels good for you, I want you to close your eyes or soften your gaze, tune inward, get comfortable in your body. I'm going to do the same. There we go. Just notice how your body feels in this moment. Taking in the sounds around you outside of my voice. Maybe it's the humming of the refrigerator. Maybe it's some noise outside or the birds chirping. Maybe it's laughter from friends or family in a different room. Just take it all in. Notice how it makes you feel. And when it feels good for you, take a nice deep inhale, breathing in. And a slow open mouth exhale, release, letting go. Softening the shoulders, softening the face. Deep inhale, breathing in, expand that lower belly as much as you possibly can. And on that exhale, letting go, creating some space between the teeth, dropping your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Allowing yourself to be as present as you possibly can in this moment. Continue to use your breath as a guide. On those inhales, expanding the belly as much as possible to activate our parasympathetic system to tell us that we are safe in this moment, that we are fine, that there is nothing for us to worry about in this present moment. And on that exhale, bringing the belly as close as you can to the spine to really create space in the body, to move the air out, to reset. Inhale, breathing in and expand. Exhale, letting go and coming home to the self. Give yourself a moment to be in your body, out of your mind, dropping into the body, noticing the rise and fall of your chest with each inhale and exhale you take. Slowing down in this moment. Use each breath to process the insights and inspiration and information you received in today's live. Let anything that resonated with you seep deep into the bones. And anything that didn't resonate, anything that wasn't in alignment, let it go as easily as you exhale. Give yourself a gentle reminder that you are tuning inward. That you are aligning with yourself. Trust in this moment. Trust in your wisdom. Trust in your magic to guide you in your life. Deep inhale, breathing in. Slow exhale, letting go, softening into this moment. I'm going to say a prayer for us. That as we move forward into this new season, as well as this new week, we have a focus on ourselves, on our inner world. Checking in with our core beliefs and our characteristics, our perspectives, and seeing what needs to stay and what needs to lovingly be let go. That we're able to focus in and remember that we do have influence, that what we share is important, how we share is unique to our own skill sets and gifts. And no one can do what we do. And there's a blessing in that. And that when we share our perspectives, our opinions, when we give feedback, that we do it from an intentional, loving space. Because ultimately, we want to allow others to be safe in their artistry, to feel safe in their creativity, in their passions, in their purpose in life. If we are a bit more mindful each day this week, that we understand we are sending out waves of healthy, happy vibrations to anyone we encounter, to anyone we think of. Deep inhale, breathing in. Slow exhale, letting go. I'm going to give you a moment to set a personal intention for this week. Something just for you. And we'll take a collective breath together to send off that intention into the world. Deep inhale, breathing in, expand the belly, breathing into the lower back, filling up the heart space. And exhale, letting go. Gently opening up our eyes and refocusing back into this moment. And I'm thanking you again for being with me, for spending so much time together, for allowing me to flow with Source. And yes, if you guys need anything, please feel free to check out the YouTube channel. There's over probably like 100 videos there of different things, from EFT to meditations to just genuine conversations. The podcast has over 100 episodes as well. My Instagram alone has over 1,000 posts that are dedicated posts. The blogs, they're like blog posts. There's information there as well for you. And if you want to work with me in a more intimate capacity, please feel free to email me, but also understand that I am one person. So when I'm able to get back to you, I will. And if it's been a while and you haven't heard back from me, just send a gentle follow-up reminder. It helps me a lot until I'm able to get added support for admin work, okay? We are going live again on Wednesday. It'll be at a later time, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe we're not going live this week, because I think this week is the last week. I think this might be my last live until October. Let me double check for a second. I think that that's the case. Let's find out. For those who don't know, the last week of the month I take off just to recalibrate because I am one person. No, we're good. Are we good? Remember that we do have tap-in sessions every single day, multiple times a day in the Insight Timer group, Lotus Living. And I'll put that here. If you need help getting into the group at all, it's going to be either in the email that I send out or that I've sent out, or you can look up Lotus Living on Insight Timer. It should take you there. I only have one group there, or you can join the Patreon for that as well. But thank you so much for being with me. I appreciate you all so much. Thank you. First time from Switzerland. Hi, Kristen. I'm so happy you're here with us. Yes. Oh, my goodness. Let me see. That's what they're doing. The IT teachers hope the platform can continue to negotiate. I hope that they can too, because Apple is a conglomerate, so they are a giant, and it's very difficult. Yes, I'm so happy. Thank you for this beautiful morning, Carrie. I'm so happy. Dina, much love to you in this community. Same, same, same. You're incredible. Thank you for creating this community. Firefight, thank you. Give thanks for the first time seeing you live. Definitely will be connecting with you and joining the group. Yes, Shine, come through. We tap every single day. Whether I'm there or not, there's someone there tapping. We have daily meditations too. There's always someone there, and it is someone that is literally so kind and so beautiful, and you're going to enjoy meditating or tapping with them. Okay? Like, I promise you. I've never not seen where no one shows up. So if you're someone else to tap in daily, please do. I'm even thinking about peaceful. Peaceful taps in pretty much every day too. So yes, thank you. Thank you, Nia. Shine, amazing. Glad you joined me too. Carly, thank you for being you. Love the later time. Just follow the podcast. I'm about to go to YouTube. Yes, Carla, please join the family. I love you all so much. Please have a good day. Please stay hydrated. Drink your water. And even though I won't see you on Wednesday, there are enough replays for you to tap in and play in the background if you want to on your way to work, to just tune in. And there will be a new podcast episode on Friday. So we're not meeting live on Wednesday, but you will get the 4th episode of the podcast on Friday. Okay? I love you all so much. Yes, thank you for putting the times. Yes. And then there's one at 7:17 a.m. too, but that one passed. But, you know. All right. Love you guys so much. Have a good day. Have a great week too. Bye.